Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How are you guys doing today, Ryan?
Hello, us guys is doing great. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I chit-chatted through the pre-show. Tune into the Twitch stream if you want to hear me ramble or divulge all of Seattle's secrets.
We got some juicy information about Seattle.
Not really. I'd probably divulge the same juicy information over and over again, and Neal just forgets.
Yep. And then you keep using the same secrets and stories over and over again to entertain me.
Yep.
Yep.
We do not have a recap, but good news, we'll probably have 2 next week.
Yes, but would we play them both?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Why not, he said. Why not?
So, if you didn't tune in last week, we've got a new character. Devon, the fighter wizard. Shepherd's boy with a gift of magic here on the island of Bravos. Is that what we call it?
Bravo. Without
Bravo.
The S. Yeah.
Bravos is Game of Thrones.
Bravos is Game of Thrones. This is Bravo as in second letter of the alphabet, as in a temporary placeholder name that I just couldn't think of anything else for.
Yeah, are there going to be 26 islands eventually?
I don't know. We got 5 right now. 4 right now. Arcadia, Bravo, Caledonia, and Ethos. We're missing the D. I don't have a D island yet. Get there. Don't do it.
Just in D, Neal.
Of course he is. So we left off. Oh, you know what? Yeah. We should probably do roll. I'm sorry. We should do Discord for
All right, for our voices or for
for the sounds.
All right, I am here. Let me know if you. Server now has video chat. Whoa.
Yeah. There are some new tabletop audio tracks that are sick.
Nice.
That we're gonna want to play with.
So last week was Devon's first episode. And let's see, we explored our shepherd boy's forbidden tutelage with the little cave witch outside of his home village.
Yep.
Explored some magic-y stuff, some visions.
Yep. Yes.
And we went out seeking a cave in the east that was once inhabited by a foamy woman of the sea. I forgot her name.
Like the sea spray itself. Seltzer is her name.
Seltzer. There we go. Wandered around, got lost, killed a 2-headed lion, a vision of a good omen. The split personalities of knowledge and wisdom, Dorboth and Guam. And then I don't know, wandered north, found a village, sirens. Saw some sirens, went in swimming after them, impressed them, but failed to swim back to shore and got swept down the coast. But eventually found the trifecta, triple point. I don't know, where the sea meets the cliffs, meets the grass, or something like that. And at the morning light, a secret cave was revealed to my keen fan eyes.
Yes, it was.
And I think that's where we left off. I don't have any of my shit. It's all like stashed somewhere up the coast. But we'll be fine. I'll just punch it.
You'll just punch the cave, right?
Just punch the cave and win Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. So did we already scale the cave?
No, I think I saw it in the morning, revealed in the morning light, and I said I was going to go check it out, and then you were like, that sounds like a good spot to cliffhanger it.
Perfect.
And so
Okay.
well,
Well,
hanging from this cliff.
maybe this track is a little too intense. It's called Witch
Nice.
Mountain, so I thought it would be perfect, but
We'll save it for later. I'm not hearing anything. Are you playing? You're not playing anything. So there's
you're not
that.
hearing it through Discord?
No, you're not playing it through Discord.
Uh-oh. Maybe this? No. No?
Yes.
You should
But
hear this.
I hear a thing, but I don't see a little microphone on your Discord. It sounds like windy or something.
What the fuck?
Let me check my Discord audio. Does chat hear it? Chat hears it loud. I say loud.
Yeah, I turned it up so that, see if maybe you needed to hear it.
Oh, there we go. All right, audio device issues again. All right, we're here.
Lovely. It's still a little intense for a grotto. That can be
Let's
some
try that again.
action music later. Fine. About this. This will work equally as well. Okay,
So-
in the first rays of the morning light, you scale the cliff. You're going to need a climbing check, but it's not going to be too difficult of a cliff to scale. The rocks are sort of craggy. You'll probably get a +4 to your climb check from it.
Okay, so we're talking. Is it 1/3 strengthened?
Strengthen dex. So you
Okay.
have 14?
15.
No.
Yeah, 14, 15. A
Yeah.
third of 14 is like
9.
4.
Yeah.
4 round, yeah. So it's a d20 plus 4?
No,
Plus-
no. It's a d20 plus 9 plus 4, so d20 plus 13.
Oh, it's 2/3 strengthened dex. Or is it 1/3?
It should be 1/3, but
Oh, 1/3
29
strength
divided.
plus dex. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so that's within, okay, plus 9 and then plus 4.
Yeah. There
It's
we go.
fine. Would have passed even without the bonus.
You make your way up the cliff face and into a very simple, very common grotto. The cave is maybe 15 feet wide at the mouth, maybe 10, 12 feet high. It sort of arches upwards and sideways and backwards, and it's this shallow, or not shallow, this short, sort of shallow cave that's just open to the ocean. The inside is maybe 20 feet deep, 18 feet wide, something like that. And the very middle is a cairn. Is that how you call it? A pile of stones that would
Yeah.
cover a
Cairn.
body.
Yeah.
Cairn.
Karen.
And around it are small jars, medium jars, some bags, and at the very back of the cave is a large wooden box. Well, not that large. It's I don't know, 2 feet by a foot by a foot and a half.
I walk around the cave a little bit, initially hesitant to touch anything, but I look, try and see what's in some of the jars. Are they like offerings to Seltzer, or do they look like something else?
Well, some of the jars seem to be covered with something, looking like maybe some sort of beeswax covered paper as a primitive sealing technique on the jar. You'll notice that one of these jars a few of these jars are open. One of them has like a pile of soap bars in it. One of them has, it's like a smaller jar. It just has a bracelet made out of feathers. If you can make me some sort of check, I'll tell you what sort of bird it is from. Let's see.
I don't have any relevant bird-like skills unless we're talking folklore or something.
No, it's fine then. A couple of bags lying around, a jar with some sticks of chalk in it.
So I have spoken a little bit with Atropos, our resident witch, and I do have I don't know. I have a spellcraft proficiency. I don't know if it's fully formed in my youth yet, but do these look like spell components?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't even need to roll. Yeah, so these look like. Okay.
Yeah, as you start, I mean, there's like a bar of soap, there's some owl feathers, there's a prism, there's like a small little bag, and if you poke it, it's like filled with sand very clearly, some chalk sticks. There are also what appear to be 5 very small jars, like teacup-sized jars.
Anything in them?
Yes, they are all filled with a fluid, each of them. And there
Same
are
fluid or different colors of fluid?
The jars are opaque. They are ceramic, so you cannot see.
I mean,
the color
so
of the
looking
fluid.
down the top of them.
They're covered with beeswax paper filters.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do these items look like they're carefully arranged, or are they haphazardly left around? Like, is this like looks like someone's stash of spell components to like come and get, or are they like?
They are carefully arranged in a oval around the cairn, but they're not like so carefully placed that they're holding some sort of magic pattern. It's not. They're like intentionally placed, but they're not perfectly geometrically shaped.
Is this someone's stash of spell components, or were they left here as like an offering?
It probably is the belongings of the dead that they're buried with.
Yeah.
Standing out will be a small book. Not that small, actually, about yay thick. What is that, 400 pages, maybe? Wrapped in leather and bound with a simple leather cord. And a dagger made of silver. And a small crystal ball. Everything else is either covered in a bag that you'd have to play with to open, or in a jar, or in that big box.
Yeah, I'll approach the box and kneel before it. And check to make sure there's no traps or anything, no like mechanisms on the lid.
Well, give me a perception check as you scout it out. Although if you want to take a lot of time, you can probably take it at advantage or something. Depending on how careful you want to be with it.
I'll take some time. I don't know. I can't imagine what I do for more than a few minutes, though. Like I scan around the rim of the box to make sure there's no like strings tied. Make sure is there a lock?
It is bound in the same way the notebook is, with a simple leather cord attaching a knob to another knob.
Does the leather cord run anywhere? As in, like, does undoing the cord pull any pull strings or mechanisms or anything?
Nope. There are no strings attached.
I don't believe you. I think before opening it, I am going to do some magics, some rituals. So I don't have my spell components with me, so I'm going to need to conjure some. I would like to detect magic, but for that I need powdered crystal. I'm hoping I can summon an unpowdered crystal and smash it to snortable pieces in here. Let's see. Naturally occurring spell component. Let's see, within a mile. Oops. For detect magic, I'm going to need dust of crystals. Bead, crystal cone, leaded crystal, prism crystal. These all have like GP values. Does a spell component need to be, let's see, Does it need to be listed on your economics to be conjured as a spell component?
No, it just needs to be naturally occurring.
This would have been a way better gift if I could conjure a crystal for those sirens. Oh well. But I guess the point was a land-based thing. All right, I would like to conjure just a crappy chunk of quartz that I could smash into a powder.
Sure.
This conjure spell components needs to conjure a whole thing.
Yes.
But, yeah. So I conjured 2 per level, so it'd be 2 specific. Oh, okay, so that could be 2 different things. I didn't even realize that, but probably. But I'll conjure, I guess, 2 chunks of quartz.
Okay.
Into my hands.
You conjure 2 bits of quartz. They appear in your hands. Do you have... How are you going to break quartz crystal down into powder, though?
With rocks. So I'll spend some minutes smashing them between rocks in this cave.
If it creates a powder, isn't that powder just going to fall on the floor?
Sure.
How will you get the powder for yourself?
I'll pick up the powder. So the detect magic causes the dust of crystals to resonate with magic auras. Can be sprinkled or inhaled. Does it need to be collected, or can I just make a crystal dust on the floor and enchant the scattered crystal dust that's sitting around in front of me?
I suppose that would work. Without a mortar and pestle or some tool to properly break a crystal down, that's going to be like a very lengthy process, I think, to grind a crystal into dust.
I was thinking it would be a quick and crude process of just crushing crystals with rocks for a minute or 2, and then enchanting the shards of crystal. I mean, it's not going to be efficient, so maybe the 2 crystals gets 1 casting of detect magic or something like that.
Yeah, I guess give me a strength check. See if you can break the rocks.
What's even the point of this detect magic? Or of this conjure spell component if it's so restrictive?
I think it'll show itself in the future.
Actually, dust is listed as something that could be summoned. I don't know if crystal dust could, but...
Well, you can break it down well enough that you can enchant the dust and snort it or sprinkle it as needed.
Let's see. Snorting it seems like the most useful way to use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit dark. I don't know. I'm not like snorting it like lines of cocaine, but just like powdering dust and inhaling the cloud of crystal crumbs that I've smashed up in the area.
Oh,
maybe doing some sprinkling as well. I'm imagining this like sort of like a 10-minute ritual kind of thing.
As your eyes change color, you begin to see the weave of magic around you. The box contains a highly magical object within it, and the 5 small sealed teacup-sized jars each contain a magical liquid.
Do I get a read on, let's see.
On their class?
Let's see. It doesn't say in your new detect magic if I get to see.
I think the new one doesn't show doesn't show school, because it gives you like more what do you call it? You can just like
more, you don't need to like, it doesn't take 1 round.
You don't need to focus.
Arc.
Yeah. And in exchange you lose the ability to see class or school.
Okay. Is there any, but like the box itself doesn't have a magical ward on it. Is the cave itself magical? Am I in a magical place?
Yes, the entrance to the cave is magical. Right now it's transparent, but as you gaze out across it, you will see a sheen across the front of it.
Snort your crystals, not your coffee.
Yes.
All right, so there's some kind of illusory door, or maybe I'm brought to another place.
It's true. It might be a gateway.
Well, so it seems like some magic potions or something, or some equivalent, magic liquids. So there's no way to distinguish anything about the auras. I just detect magic. I don't get like can I tell if they're the same liquid, or are the auras, if they were two different potions, would the auras be different, or are the auras?
Yes, you can detect that there are 3 different potions here. Two
So
of
presumably,
them,
I like the idea that the magic auras are distinct but incomprehensible.
Yes.
As is, but like this allows a way with either later spells or maybe with relevant knowledge or spellcraft. There would be a way to distinguish the auras of items. Does that make sense? Is that what you were intending?
Sort of.
So like using a detect magic plus some other spell or some knowledge, you could actually tell what spells you're detecting.
Yes, I've been working on all the new spells have like a field that isn't displayed on the spell list yet called residue, and it's like when you cast a spell, what is the magical pattern that is left behind. So if you are familiar with all the spells and the residue they leave behind, you could say, oh hey look, there's some crumbled dust right here beneath this key. This is probably a magic key spell, or beneath this lock, this is probably the remnants of a magic key spell based on the after effects that are left behind by the spell.
It's 3 different potions, and so if the box doesn't appear to be magically trapped or anything, or mechanically trapped, I will undo the leather strap.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be
cautiously
or magical.
Lift the lid.
The lid will open, revealing a large double scroll that is a scroll that is wrapped on 2 things. Instead of just scrolled, it rolled up into one. It weighs probably about 25 pounds, and it seems to be made primarily of brass.
Upon seeing the scroll, I immediately go blind.
Ooh.
As the detect magic wears off.
Yes.
And then I take a few minutes. But I will interpret this as a good omen or something.
Okay. A few minutes passes. The blindness wears off. You are still alone in the cave with the cairn and the corpse.
Yep. There's a corpse?
Underneath the cairn is a corpse. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will remove the scroll and unfurl it and see if I can make any sense of it.
It is filled with arcane writings. It looks like a scroll of spells.
I am literate. I have learned something of the arcane, but presumably this needs a read magic to cast or to decipher.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have, but I do not have. I hope I didn't just smash my. No, I'm more than a mile away from my spell components. I was like, I have a clear crystal prism.
You wouldn't realize that it was your crystal prism you were summoning.
For read magic, but I don't have enough MP to cast read magic at the moment. Mm-hmm. I'll go over to the book now. So I'll look at the scroll and like see if I can make any sense of it. Like it's not. There's no like pictographs or prophecy written on it. It's just arcane runes that I can't make sense of.
Writings, texts. There are some diagrams here and there, but it's gibberish to you. It's all Greek to you.
I'll scroll it back up and put it in the box. Is the box meant to be like a carrying case for it?
It looks more like a protective case for it. You could carry it. It'll increase the weight from 25 pounds to probably 30 pounds. It is clearly a magical scroll of some kind, but it's still like a scroll. The paper on it is tough because it's magic and it's built for this, but at the same time, like, you know, if you chucked it into the sea, you'd probably ruin it.
I will approach the book and undo the leather strap on that as well.
The book is filled with non-magical writing. Are you a literate spellcaster?
I am literate. Is it possible to be an illiterate spellcaster? I guess so.
It would be difficult.
Yeah. Is it written in the current common tongue?
It is written in the current common tongue. Maybe a slightly older version of it, but not so much that you couldn't read it. You know, the equivalent of like Shakespearean English.
Sure.
Totally legible. And
I will read it.
Yeah.
Probably in its entirety. I think I will just sit down and read the book.
You might regret those words.
Oh, God.
It appears to be a book of smutty fiction.
Okay, I don't read it in its entirety then. I read it to get the gist of it. Like, once it comes to, this is trash, I like start flipping to see if there's something else to it, or like see if I can figure out who the author is, or like...
It's about this, you know, young lad who is a farmer out in the fields, and one day a goddess comes by, and at first you're like, oh my god, it's a prophecy, it's a story. But then, like, a couple pages later, like, the young boy and the goddess are, like, getting it on in the shepherd's shack, and you're like, that's an interesting... And you keep flipping, and it's, like, gratuitous detail, and then you slowly get the impression that, like, as they go away and the young lad comes across, like, a goat herder's daughter and starts hooking up with her, you're like, wait a minute, this is just a smutty book. What the fuck?
It's not Randy's book of dirty limericks or whatever.
It's not Randy's book of dirty limericks, but it's the equivalent.
Is there an author written, or a title, or like?
Yes, it is written by the woman buried within the cairn. It is Seltzer's own book of smut that she was writing before she passed.
I flip I skim all the way to the end and like see if there's any
unfinished. Unfortunately, it gets to like chapter 35, and that's like 3/4 of the way through the book, and then ends abruptly mid passage of, you know, trembling thighs and not tumultuous, but tumescent members.
Perhaps in my old age I will complete Seltzer's life's work, but today I'm a little bit, I don't know, put off by this. I keep investigating it, expecting there to be something more. I don't know if there even is like a cryptography type proficiency, but I want to be looking through it to see if there are like there's got to be more to this. This is a wizard's smut book. There's got to be like a hidden message, or like
give me
invisible ink, or like, I don't know, if I read it upside down and backwards by the light of the full moon, does anything change? Let's see, bio and info, character sheet, basic.
It's a really good check. Yeah, there's nothing obviously about this. There's no like hidden secrets that you are able to divine at this moment. It's just, you know.
There's no pictures in this one, are there? Or diagrams?
No. It's all theater of the mind.
I set it down amongst the other spell components and stand up looking around. Am I supposed to take that? Would this be desecration? I put a hand on the cairn.
Well, it's still morning. The sun is still shining into the cave. The body lies undisturbed underneath it. A little bit of wind blows through. You can hear the ocean lapping at the floor, at the sea below.
I'm tempted by the magic teacups, but afraid to drink them. I don't have the identify potion spell, just the regular identify. Alas. There's nothing special about today, right? It's not like a full moon or a...
The full moon was 2 nights ago.
Damn, it might be a special day, but I guess I could come back on another full moon. I'm just wondering, like, will this be revealed every dawn, or do I have to wait for a full moon or something? I'm going to leave the tomb, or like put things back as I found them, wrap back up the scroll box. Project feelings of goodwill towards the dead, and depart the cave,
leaving it intact.
Leaving it intact for now. I will. Is the cave like part way up the cliff face, the grotto?
Yes.
And there's like sea below.
Yep. Crashing waves on the rocks and cliffs below.
Is there any way to safely get out of here? Is it another climb check to get out?
You've passed the climb check to get in. You can climb back down.
Okay. Down, not up.
Oh, yeah, you could climb up too. That's fine.
But if I come back here again, I'll have to climb in again.
You'll have to climb in again.
Okay.
If you have rope, you could maybe lower it down and...
I don't have rope.
Brace against the wall? Okay.
Yeah, but from here, I can't scope out a safer way to approach this. I guess it's intentionally meant to be difficult. If one were to swim up to it, would that make it easier to get in?
Probably not.
No.
Probably the hardest way, because you'd have to deal with the waves crashing on the cliffs.
Well, I will leave and head north up the coast to go retrieve my stuff.
All right.
And I think in this day I can move at least 2 squares.
Which will get you back to your stuff, I believe.
Here, and yeah, spend whatever's left of the afternoon searching for that gully.
Right. The gully was right near the cliff edge, so you can find it.
Okay. Is my stuff undisturbed? There should be like a staff and a... Let's see, what did I think it's like all my robes I'd taken off, just like down to like my pants or whatever, small clothes or whatever.
It looks like a gopher has burrowed up betwixt your stuff and pushed a few of the things aside and started to pull something down into its gopher hole, but then stopped. Like the leather on your sling has been pulled down.
How many of my fireflies did the little bastard eat?
0.
Okay.
0. Everything is as it was. Okay. Mildly disturbed by the natural life.
Okay. Well, I will gather my things and probably make a small camp.
Yeah.
Bed down and rest.
A camp can be made, and you can close your eyes and rest.
I don't have food written. I'm trying to remember what I had secured here last time.
Monitor lizard, and then the people at Kroger were so kind that they gave you some food.
Yeah.
And then
so I think some of that was here, but maybe has been eaten by animals?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think you're a little hungry. Yeah.
Was I able to catch that gopher?
No.
All right.
So I guess you can spend the night here without having food. I don't think you can regenerate MP. I think you'll need good rest, and going to bed hungry is probably breaking good rest.
All right. In that case, at first light, I will go looking for something to eat.
Now let's see what you can find. Here's a scorpion. Is that edible?
Yeah. I'll ping it with a sling.
Yep.
Nailed it.
You'll ping the scorpion with a sling. I doubt it has more than 1 hit point, but if it did, it is smashed against a wall, and there's goop on the wall, and you're like, kind of lost some of the good fluids.
I'll take my knife and cut off the stinger,
Mhm.
cover my sling bullet, and roast the scorpion over the fire. Maybe see if I can find some foliage to eat it with. I don't know if there's like edible roots or anything around. I don't have any relevant proficiencies, but
You'll get a little food in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a survivalist expert. You usually
No.
herd goats and have stuff around, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the plan?
Head back to Seltzer's cave now that I've got my stuff back. So I'll spend the day walking. Try to find some more food, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky and get a random encounter on the way.
Is that good luck or bad luck?
Good luck if it's something that I can kill and eat.
No random encounters on this day, unfortunately. But you can make it back to the same place. Of course, by the time you get here, the cave is not visible. You can rest in the hills, though, for the night.
There's still some light, right?
Yeah. You arrive in the afternoon. There's light.
Tempted to climb and see if it was just an illusion or if it was. I will gently find a stone, not a bullet, to use my sling to like gently toss it to where I think the cave entrance was.
So you want to get like down and away from the cave so you can throw up at it?
Sure.
If you're on a sheer surface, you can't really throw down and in.
No, I'll like circle around to like the side of the cliff, if that makes sense, to like up the cliff. The range is pretty long on this sling, right? It's like short range is 150 feet, long range is 600 feet.
Yeah. You can chuck some rocks that you find, not your nice bullets, and throw them over and over, and you feel fairly convinced that you've hit the entrance to the cave, and it does not. It is solid, a solid wall.
Okay. Wonder what happens if you get stuck inside of it. I'll make a camp here. Stomach rumbling. And I guess to role play I'll sleep, but there's no reason to do that because I'm not recovering anything.
Yes, but the human body still needs rest at the end of a day. You can rest the night away here. Wake up the next day. Tummy rumbling. Hungry.
There's no sense in going into the... So I think I wake up well before dawn and search for food.
You find a beached jellyfish.
It's kind of edible. You can eat jellyfish, but when rotten on the beach, maybe not so fun.
I
don't know how to even do this without.
There's a small rabbit as well. But you know that these little fuckers are fast, and with the amount of ground cover out here, you've got one shot. The rabbit. Otherwise, it'll startle and bolt, and you'll never see it again.
Well, I will use a bullet and roll a 1.
Yep.
Delete a bullet.
You startle the bunny, and it bolts.
And I think I will have to abandon my quest to stagger back to town starving. Was the
The grotto was there in the morning. Yes.
It was there in the morning. Okay.
Yes. Actually, if you wake up before the first dawn, then it won't be there. But as the sun's rays come across the cave, you'll see, like, as the first light of sun touches the actual cave wall, that section just becomes transparent. And you'll reach a point where part of the cave is transparent and part of it is still a cliff rock wall, and it slowly just fades away.
I should have just kept traveling to Kroger. I don't know. I have no proficiencies that enable me to gather food. How would you mechanically handle looking for food, or like fishing, or like anything like that?
I would say if you want to dedicate your day to it, you can make an unskilled survival check, and if you succeed, you find food. But it's going to be like a good portion of the day spent doing this. I think untrained survival should be a difficult thing, especially in the arid hills.
Let's see.
Survival is an int check, so int at half your ability score.
My int is actually pretty good. But then if I fail...
You're essentially like wasting a day and still going hungry.
If I fail to climb, I die. I think...
You are in a tough spot.
Mm-hmm. I think I start making my way back home.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, and I don't know. Am I force marching?
I suppose. Give me a
Or
con
like
check.
what's if I'm undernourished? I'm not trying to force march yet. I'll force march tomorrow.
You've only been without food for 2 days, so I think you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we hit like the 4 or 5 day mark is when we're going to start being like, okay, you are starving. You have not eaten in days.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, it's fine. Yeah. Counter checks. High rolls, no encounters.
I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated. I feel like there's no reason to stop. Like, what if I'm not recovering by resting?
Why not just march through the night?
Why not just keep marching through the night?
I think the reason we don't march through the night is that it is difficult, treacherous terrain, and you probably won't make as much progress in the long run as if you rest.
I think I disregard time. I rest as needed to not push myself to death or exhaustion. Okay. And I just keep moving day or night. I have good eyes, so I can see by night. And I will march.
Yeah, and we're near the full moon anyway. So you can go ahead and move yourself an extra hex.
Well, I just keep going all the way back to
Okay, sure. It'll take you... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is back to home. Okay. You will arrive in Grotto, I think in the late morning one day, after pushing yourself through the night. Find your small, little, cozy farming, herding, shepherding town out here, betwixt the craggy outcroppings of hills, tucked away in a nice, safe little place. Your homey town of a few hundred people welcomes you with open arms. Someone gives a call that Devon has returned, and a few moments later, here comes your mother running down the hill towards you, arms wide, tears in her eyes, saying, "I thought you were dead! You've been gone so long, Devon! I thought something got you! Oh my god, you look half-starved! Where have you been? Here, take this chicken!"
take this chicken. It's okay, Mom. I've been on a pilgrimage to Seltzer's tomb on the coast.
You haven't been talking with that witch in the wilds, have you? I thought we talked about this.
No, I had a vision, a dream.
This is new. Vision?
Of a cave, a grotto, hidden in the cliffs, where the ocean meets the land, meets the cliffs, only visible by the light of the first dawn.
And what was it?
It was Seltzer's tomb, the daughter of the sea. And I found it. And then I starved. Let's see. So maybe I tell that tale to whoever gathered.
I'm sure you'll tell the tale multiple times throughout the day. There's not much in the way of entertainment out here, and
I don't.
You tell it to one person, and
I'm careful not to give too many details. Like I don't want people to be able to retrace my steps and find it necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll just be vague, that it's only visible at the light of the first dawn and at the edge of the sea. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm looking on the economics to see how much rations cost. I think I can't even afford rations.
Yeah, in this podunk, poor backwater place, rations might be difficult for you. What you could do, though, as a professional goat herder, is herd a goat out there.
And eat the goat?
No, don't eat the goat. Milk the goat.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile food. Goat eats grass, goat gives you milk. You drink milk, you're essentially turning grass into milk.
I can't afford a goat, and if we use your upkeep costs, I will spend all of my gold keeping the goat alive for a month. But I don't know that we're doing typical economics.
I don't think so. I think upkeep cost is more like you've got someone to watch over the animal, not like I'm herding the goat itself. Or like maybe a goat in a stable and you need to like repair the stable every now and then.
Sure. I don't have any goats of my own, so I would be stealing a goat from my parents.
Yeah.
Or something. But I guess that's what I do. So I will recover in town for a few days. I was down 3 HP and I haven't recovered since.
Yeah, so you can kick it.
So I'll rest in town for a few days to recover my HP and my MP.
Yep.
So I guess I'll stay at home and tend to my chores and skip a few days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you pass a few days. You've got duties here. Friends come to visit. They want to hear your story. Your family wants your help with the goats and this thing. And there's a new pen being made, but, Jacob down the road got drunk one night and, like, smashed into it. And now the fence has to be repaired. And there's always something to do. Keeping alive is a difficult task in this age.
To my friends, I will tell the tale of the sirens and seducing them with acorns. And probably once these stories start getting told, everyone, people begin to doubt the prior stories, and I get a bit of a reputation as a
teller of tall tales.
Teller of tall tales. There you go.
At least until you can start to back them up with something. But right now, it's just...
And I tell the two-headed lion, and, starting to get a little bit outlandish, and after a few days, the novelty wears off, and maybe I'm going to get shunned. But I will heal, and... let's see, I'll roll a couple willpower check, or actually, it'll be D willpower. 6. Oh, okay.
Go.
2 days will be enough to heal MP. 3 days will be HP. One of those, I have not been tracking my armor spell very well, so I will just recast it.
Okay.
At some point in this time. Let's see. I did 2 blessed leather. I refresh my armor. I will be at max HP, max MP 3 days later. And I think without a word to anyone, I will sneak out again. A little bit frustrated or irritated that people are beginning to doubt my stories.
And where will you head?
Back to the Tomb of Seltzer.
Okay.
I will steal a few goats, borrow a few goats, and take them with me.
Okay.
How the hell am I going to get a goat inside of that cave?
We probably won't.
That first aid proficiency that we've found out was useless. I will swap out, I think, for animal handling. I guess makes the most sense, even though it seems like a useless proficiency for a wizard. Unless
you need to get goats across the map.
Yeah. Right. Is animal handling is the herding related one?
Yes.
I'm not going to train these goats. That's why I heard over here.
Yeah, you don't need to train your goats.
Handling is wisdom -1. What's the difference between base and adjust on the
base is the initial adjustment, and then adjust is like I put an extra slot into it, so it gets a +3.
Okay, so I'm putting them in the wrong spots.
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It's supposed to be convenient, so however you want to do it is legit.
All right. I don't know how many goats I feel compelled to take. How many goats did
You probably won't need more than 1 or 2.
Yeah. I'll sneak off with a pair of goats and lead them east.
Okay.
I want to see if I can find where that lion corpse was. I think it was 2 days east, but it might have been up 1. So I'll go 1, 2 on this day and see if I can find where I stashed that lion.
Yeah, it's not here. Or at least you can't find it here. I have rolled dice in an attempt to streamline.
Yeah.
The lion is not to be found.
Yeah, it may have been a hex north of here or something like that. Beginning to doubt my own sanity and wonder if the lion existed at all. I camp with my goats, live off of goat's milk, and continue traveling the next day. Any encounters?
Roll for the encounters. All these high rolls? No encounters.
And then, can I force march goats? Do I need to roll like a willpower check for my animal handling and a con check for myself or something? Or are goats not slowed on hills or something?
Goats aren't slowed on hills. You are going to be the limiting factor in speed, except when the goats want to stop and graze. They're probably going to get... Yeah, if you make an animal handling check, you can force march.
And a con check myself, right?
Right. You can push the animals.
I'm a master goat herder. And so strong.
Look at that.
So I will push all the way to the coast. I convinced the goats that the pasture land here is better anyways. They're excited to get to the grass, and I will set up so that at first dawn we can enter the grotto. Is there any conceivable way to get the goats there? Some goats are good climbers. I don't know if our fat milk goats are able to climb a cliff, but...
Yeah, and directing them to a specific place might be difficult. Goats tend to be stubborn. You can kind of herd them along with a stick, but then trying to herd them up a cliff, that would be a new experience. And you wouldn't want them to accidentally fall into the ocean or get stuck on a rock and be like, no, I'm not coming down.
Okay.
To leave them to graze for a short while. Probably not too long. Wander off, or worse yet, something wanders towards them.
I'd imagined studying in the cave.
How strong
Seems
are
like-
you? Can you climb with a goat on your back?
I have 14 strength. I don't think so.
Probably
But then again,
not.
like a goat's probably going to starve to death inside of a cave unless I like load it with grass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll sleep till the next morning, and then.
Yep. Next morning comes along. You will arrive. You are already here.
We'll climb the cliff, and assuming that the grotto appears again,
It does.
I will enter and recover the scroll. Are the yeah?
It's 25 pounds on its own, 30 with the box.
I think I can carry that unencumbered. Let me double check though. Yeah, 28 pounds on person. Does that include equipment in bag? Okay, yes. So 20. Yeah, I'm fine. 30 pounds will just bear. I don't even need to empty my water skin. I can.
Nice.
I can grab a box, climb back. Are the teacups easily transportable?
Yeah, if you've got a place to put them in.
Do they need to be held upright, or are they sealed well enough that they won't spill?
They're sealed. They've got like a piece of cloth that has been dipped in beeswax, so it's airtight. That's wrapped over the mouth, which is then bound with a piece of cord. So
And you said there's a silver knife, right?
There's a silver knife, pure silver.
Omen reading might have been a cool proficiency to grab with Atropos. I don't have any proficiency slots. Is that a 2-slotter or a 1-slotter?
I think it's probably 2, but I don't know off the top of my head. Omen reading 2, wisdom.
Yeah. I don't have religion either. Got folklore. Can I roll a folk or an arcanology?
Mm-hmm.
Can I use one of those to get any sense of like if this is a sacrilegious act that I'm committing? Like, am I looting a tomb? Am I about to be cursed, or have I been like chosen to take this stuff, or is this a decision that proficiency check's not going to reveal, and I need to decide on my own?
Yeah, proficiency check's not going to reveal that, but you did have a vision, right?
Yeah.
Visions mean something.
Yeah, but did they mean I was supposed to loot the shit out of this tomb, or was I supposed to come here and learn something?
Well...
The silver dagger wasn't magic, correct? It was just a silver dagger?
Correct. Non-magical silver dagger.
Well, I'll grab the silver dagger, tuck it in my belt.
Okay.
How many magic teacups are there? 5?
5.
The rest of the spell components, how much would it take to gather up? How much would it weigh to gather up everything? Is that conceivable?
No, it's not, because a bunch of these are in like ceramic jars, and so the jars are going to be large and heavy. But if you started opening the jars and seeing what's inside of them, that would...
I start peeking at what all this stuff is.
Yeah, so one of the jars has just a bunch of old dried sage. One jar is filled with honey. There's a jar of wine and a jar of water. See, there's like
is
a
it
bag
like
of
totally
sand.
soured? Like honey will last forever, but is the
wine
wine
is
like
bad.
is this 100-year-old wine or something like that that's been left in like a
Something
ceramic
like
jar?
that. Yeah, so it's like an airtight and watertight container, but the wine shouldn't sit there with a little bit of air in it for so long. Yeah. There's some sand and some sulfur in some bags. There's a bag of 30 silver coins.
Okay.
That's easy to take. There's a like a geometric compass, like the 2 points that come to a thing with the protractor in the middle.
Geometric compass? Is that like if you already know where north is, you can measure
No,
angles
like
or something?
You know, like if you're mapping distances on a
You mean a sextant or something? For like drawing out angles on a...
Yeah. I thought it was called a compass. Yeah,
geometric compass. Oh, gotcha.
I know.
Okay, yeah. I know exactly. A compass. Yeah. like a
but like
drafting
compass also a drafting compass, not a
Yeah.
map, a directional compass. Yeah.
Mhm. Sure. I do actually have a proficiency earmarked for cartography.
Hmm. Okay, there's a bracelet of feathers. One of the jars is filled with frankincense.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Are these so? These are spell components for some spell that I don't know yet.
Definitely. And there are 2 bags. So in addition to the bag of 30 silver coins, there's a bag of 20 small gemstones and a bag of 10 small gemstones. And these gemstones look to be quite valuable.
Okay. Cool.
And the Book of Smut.
I'll leave the Book of Smut and the spare spell components. I don't know. I take some minutes to ponder this hoard.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately deciding to take the Book of Smut.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I want to take whatever spell, like honey and frankincense. Those sound like valuable things, right?
Certainly. Frankincense is definitely valuable. And this much honey, it's like a full jar of honey, so it's like 5 pounds of honey. You know, that's worth something.
I do have a backpack, so I can stuff all the stuff in my pack.
Mm-hmm. The jars are sort of fragile, so don't take any big tumbles while you're carrying them.
Sure. Honey. Are there any other components that I would like? Is it not practical to shove it all into a backpack, or?
No, I think there are too many jars, and like there's that, like the jar of water and the jar of wine seem unreasonable to carry and unmanageable. You can take like 1 or 2 of the bars of soap, but you don't need like 5 bars of soap. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. The chalk is easy to carry. The jar of honey is going to be kind of heavy. The sage you can pull out of the jar and pocket yourself. Yeah, you know, if you leave some of the soap bars and the wine and the water behind, and you maybe don't take all of the sand, because there's like a lot of sand, might be able to shove all the
Yeah,
shit
the
back.
mundane stuff I'll leave behind. Sage sage is kind of valuable. I don't know. It's light though, so like I'll stuff some sage in my backpack.
Yeah, and you can also find sage just growing wild.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe not, but it smells nice. All right. Well, I start stuffing. I loot the shit out of this tomb after weighing the wisdom in such an act. I ultimately decide to take what was given to me from on high. Book of Smut. How much does a Book of Smut weigh?
2 pounds.
As heavy as lead.
On your soul, it weighs something very different. Okay.
Okay. 20. I think I'm still. Oh, I need to put weight on the stuff. I don't have 2 books of smut. I have a book of smut weighing 2 pounds. Frankincense and honey. I don't know how heavy that will be.
The honey's going to weigh
I will empty
a few pounds because you've got the jar and then the honey in it. So that's like 3 pounds of honey jar.
Yeah.
The frankincense you can, just pile in your bag and it'll just get everything super, super smelly. Or you can leave it in the jar and it'll weigh an extra pound, but it won't be getting like spread out amongst your stuff.
I have it noted as a jar, as a pound. Pounds of honey. Do the magic teacups weigh a pound each? Or yeah.
Yep. The jars and the fluids within total a pound.
Then I will be lightly encumbered, which I don't. Does that impact climbing at all, or is that just move speeds?
It will impact climbing. Yeah, because you've got so much stuff hanging on you. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get down. We'll have to call for a new check.
Do I need to re-roll the check to climb back down? Or can I... So that was the climb check to get in.
That 31 is your climb check to get in?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Then even if we'll use the same roll and we'll just take some penalties and you'll still pass with flying colors.
All right, so it's fine. I'm lightly encumbered with the hefty scroll case, but I will trek out of there and back to my goats.
Yep, it'll take a few more minutes to round up your goats because they've wandered to eat the tall grasses. But after that, you can head home to Necrot.
I was thinking that's
here. God. There we go. So on your way back, you want to be going carefully. You don't want to be like stumbling over any rocks and falling and breaking these jars in your backpack. You've got food with you now in the form of goats. So it is on
rate. Let's see. So you get twice your movement rate in points. Right?
Yes.
16. So I do, let's see. I can put the scroll case on a goat.
The box on the goat?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can balance a box on a goat without saddlebags.
What about with an animal handling proficiency?
You might be able to put your bag on a goat, but I don't know about the box. What sort of bag do you have?
I've got a backpack, but that's got all the delicate stuff in it.
Yeah.
How over am I? Actually, not by much. I need to cut down 10 pounds.
Or you could just take an extra couple days.
Yeah. I don't think it actually matters that much.
Right, because if you force march at, 18? And if you force march, then you can go 22 and a half. Or you'll have 22.5, so that's 2 hexes a day. So if you just force march for 3 days, you'll get there.
I need to roll con checks to do that?
Yes. And animal handling checks.
The animals are not encumbered, just me. But
I'm so they can just go, it's fine. Okay.
I think there's a way to, I don't want to nitpick, but I can cut down 10 pounds by putting my pants on the goat. If I just walk naked and put my clothes and make the goat carry my clothes and my water, I'm unencumbered.
Yeah, I guess you could devise.
And my water.
You tie one pant leg to your water skin on one side of the goat and the other pant leg to your sling and its bullets, so the pants become the saddlebags, and you put 10 pounds of weight on the goat this way. And then you can fill up the pant legs with stuff because they're essentially tubes as well. All right, you can make it work.
But I fail a force march. Does that mean I don't? Does that mean I have to immediately stop and rest, or does that mean that means I just don't get the extra movement and I stop and make camp?
You don't get the extra movement, and you must rest before being able to force march again.
Okay. So we'll just move at regular movement, right?
Yeah. And I think you maintain the cumulative penalties until you get your rest as well.
Of which there weren't any, right?
You did 1 day of force marching, right?
That gets you a -1 to things, or does 1 day not get you anything?
I think it's -1 to combat rolls.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is on this first night. You settle down. You got your goats, and you wake up to the howling of wolves, which isn't an uncommon thing. I wouldn't normally mention it, other than the fact that they sound very close. You begin to worry for your goats.
Yeah, I take up my staff and sling and go to guard the goats.
Sure enough, there is a wolf approaching. But I think this is our point to take our first break, and when we come back, we will see how you deal with the hungry, hungry wolves. And we'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.
Oh.